BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC, head to BetOnline today and don't forget to use promo code BELIEVE for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
All right, Coach, we close out FAMU, and now we're getting ready to head over to Florida to take on the other school in Florida, Bethune-Cookman, over in Daytona for their homecoming. Let's talk about game prep. Now we're undefeated in conference play. The guys, we got that monkey off our back. We won the game we needed to win, and now we're in the driver's seat. And if we win out, obviously we host the SWAC Championship, and that starts over in Florida. So let's talk about game prep for Bethune-Cookman.
This was the hard one. This may have been the hardest game all year because once you beat FAM, you can start to feel everybody getting relaxed. Mm-hmm. You can kind of get that feeling everybody like, we made it. Like, we're going to walk into it. I'm like, fella, we still got to do the same things we was doing to get us here now. We got to prepare. We got to backfield sets, motions, all the extra stuff you were doing at first. Coming back, watching film, you got to be able to do that. Stay true to who you are. And I thought that's what this week was about, trying to keep the kids locked in, that same hunger. And so I can remember the message at halftime with this one was, you can't just show up. You got to work, got to work, got to work. And so that was my message to them because that's the feeling I got all week. Everybody just kind of laid back. The energy wasn't the same at practice. I'm like, hey, bad teams can beat you when you ain't all in now. So coming into this one, we wanted to stop the quarterback run game. And we get there, it's a different quarterback.
Yep.
And so we have no idea what he can do, what they're going to try to do. And so we just try to get out and just throw some base pitches out there early. And, man, I'm blitzing. After the first drive, I'm blitzing crazy. I'm blitzing. They in 12 personnel that just keep running to the boundary. And, I can remember we just can't stop a nosebleed the first half.
Yeah.
We don't know what this kid can do and do a couple dots early.
Yep.
I thought he did a great job understanding when certain blitz was coming, the telltales of it, and he was making some great throws. And so coming in halftime, I remember Coach James like, hey, Coach, let's just get back in 3 down and just see what they're trying to do. See, can we just line up in base and strike? And this game right here was the changing point of me blitzing.
Okay.
At this point now, we top 5 in all of it. TFL, sacks, and I'm blitzing. And now I'm blitzing the first half, and this quarterback making some throws. And we ain't winning these battles now. And so now they keeping the change moving. So I was like, hey, man, this is the talk where everybody, the back end is bad. The back end is bad. We was great up front, but a lot of times I blitzed so much, it just left us on the limb. It left us in a lot of one-on-one situations with no help, and it made us look bad. And so this the game where my mindset changed. I'm like, it ain't gonna be my group to look bad. And so, fellas, I gotta do a better job of making sure I'm not living in that situation where we chasing the sacks and TFLs, but we giving up a bunch of passing yards in return, looking like we can't play football. We had some talent on the back end this year. And so this is where our numbers got spiked. I think we ended up finishing like 18, 17 in like sacks and TFLs. Because early we'll come in on Sundays and we pulling that chart up, NCAA stats, number 5, number 4 in TFL sacks. So we were chasing it. And so this game, first half, man, we can't stop a nosebleed. Second half, like you said, they didn't get in the box, and it looked like a whole nother game plan. But we really just stood back in base defense, didn't blitz, and let them strike up front. kind of what this game kind of boiled down to.
Mm-hmm. Now, this following week, Coach, UAPB, and as a fan, and I don't know much about football. Let me just put that out there. I don't know nothing, but me watching this team, what I gathered was they had a quarterback and they had a wide receiver that we had to stop, and if we could stop them, it was ball game. So that's what I thought. Again, I don't know nothing about football, but apparently, you guys looked at this team as this juggernaut, and y'all needed some help to beat them. Y'all maybe y'all didn't feel like y'all could just.
I didn't know where you were going.
So y'all had to apparently now, allegedly, reportedly, y'all had to go take a look at, of all teams, y'all had to go take a look at this team's playbook.
Man, you know what? I just roll my sleeves up, put my head down, and I work. I try to stay far away from stuff like that, man. It took everything in me now. It took everything in me not to address certain things, of that nature. I can remember, and the kids can tell you this, I was off Red Bulls for a long time. And I came in on Tuesday morning, we do the scout report. Each coach stands up and they talk about, I'm the defense coordinator, so I talk about the offense coordinator and the offense scheme, and then the next guy come up and they talk. And so I have a Red Bull, so the kids like, Coach, you all right? I said, no, I just did 17 last night. And they like, what? I said, yeah, I barely got into sleep. I did 17 hours. I said, but they ass grad now. So they love when I talk like that. They knew what I meant. Like, I got them now, and it was a lot of stuff I just went back to. Everybody gone home. It's 10, 11 o'clock at night. I was still in the office. Because this is the number one wide out in FCS football. And I'm the DB coach. So it was very personal. This kid would not beat us. And so I was talking to Coach McGunn. I said, hey, man, I need every little detail, every motion. I need to know this home place. And so he was the right wide out. And so it was just little small things like that. If he ever moved anywhere else, the ball was automatically going to him. He was never a decoy. And so our whole game, we played that whole game with a double team on him. We double teamed the whole game. And when we did, we had Robert McDaniel on him. Mm-hmm. And so it really wasn't a hard game plan. It was about 6 plays with 1,000 motion to 1 play. They want to be RPO on first down. It was 100% RPO. And this is stuff I've been wanting to share because it really was heavy tendency. 100% RPO. And I had a guy, man, at Alcorn. They beat him the year before when he was at Grambling. I said, what he struggled with? He said, Coach, I did some research, and he struggled with cover 2. And so not only when we didn't double team him, we got in cover 2. And so they struggled. We knew they couldn't run the ball on our guys up front. That wide I had over half of their total yards. So I was like, we take him out the game. I don't know where the rest of these yards are going to come from. And I thought the quarterback was a one-read quarterback. It was, just being honest, it was to that guy, and when he wasn't open, he couldn't have the wherewithal to look at anybody else. And so we used all that to our advantage. We opened the game up, and I can remember this in pregame. I looked at Robert McDaniel and said, hey, man, I know you ain't played corner in a year, but this kid is big. I didn't think he was that big. This kid is big. Right. I'm looking at some little corners we had at the time, and I'm like, he finna bully them around. We had 17 KJ Chisholm out there at the time, and he may be 5'11", about 160, and I'm looking at this kid, every bit of 6'3", 200 and something. And I looked at Rob, can you play corner? I said, yeah. I said, you sure? Because we ain't practiced this at all. I said, yes, sir. So I trust you. They come out the first 2 plays, and both balls went to the wide out. And I'm seeing the freshman corner not in tune to the game plan. And I'm like, Third play of the game, Robert McDaniel, you go over there. And so now you see 6'2", 200-pound match up with him. So now you see a physical battle and a physical battle, and he couldn't get separation. So sometimes we left Rob by himself. If Rob wasn't over there, we double teamed. And every third down, he got double teamed, regardless. Every third down. We're going to make you throw the ball to somebody else. And that's what it kind of came down to. We knew they were struggling running the ball. We knew they didn't have the personnel up front to run the ball. But you look at this team was very, very explosive. But it was only a 1-2 punch. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, he's going to have to throw the ball to somebody. If they beat us, he got to throw the ball to somebody else. And I can remember, man, that halftime, we come back, all of a sudden the headset's out. Okay. It didn't make sense until we got the news of they talking about the playbook. I'm like, they all of a sudden they hits it out. But what happened, they thought we was really cheating. They thought maybe we had the signals or something. I'm like, nothing changed. I called the same 3 plays. You know, the same 3 plays, and we made sure with every motion that we still had a double team on big guy. So it wasn't a hard game plan, man, but they did take the credit out of myself and the coaching staff defensively, and that's the part that didn't sit well with me. And you look at it, they were talking about 217 yards. No one never held them under that. I'm like, well, welcome to the club. Just like our 3rd game, keeping people under that. You know,
we do.
This is what we do. So, you know, that was my deal on that, man. But we put hours in now. We had to find out all the detail because it looked like a bunch of stuff early. But when you kind of break it down and who getting the ball, everything was designed for him to get the ball first. And that's what I thought they messed up at, because once he wasn't available, the quarterback couldn't get to a second read or a second option.
Coach, let me get this straight. So as far as the decision to put Rob on their top receiver, I thought that was the plan all week. Are you saying that you decided that right before kickoff? And Rob didn't even get a chance to really practice at corner?
When you look, if you don't pay attention to me pregame, I'm never in tune to what we doing, because I love like rehearsal. I'm always looking at the offensive personnel. So I'm turned the opposite way. And I see this kid, I'm like, this kid is huge. And so Coach Vance, who I lean on the most, he come to me and said, Coach, I found out that he was a former tight end. I said, now it makes sense now. The physicality he played with, pushing guys around, that makes sense. So I'm like, now I'm starting to think, who do we have that can match that physicality? And I'm like, it gonna be messed up, but Rob give us that own option. Wow. But what gave me the idea, he played corner the year before at Alcorn. So I was like, let me go ask him before I just do it. And he gave me the green light. If Robert McDaniel would have said, I don't feel comfortable, coach, or I ain't practiced it, it would have never happened. Wow. It would have never happened. Man.
Wow. Yeah, I'm with you, Corey. I thought that was also the game plan. I mean, when you go back and look at it, and I didn't really care for the all the stuff that came with it. I was glad that it came and went pretty quickly. You know, I'll leave that at that. But now knowing that Robert McDaniel, and that just speaks to his versatility, man. I remember when we talked prior to him, you know, actually making it to campus, he had committed to us, and you talked about, you know, his skill set, and now he's getting ready for April. Well, hopefully get his name called in the 2025 NFL draft. And but man, what a heck of a player to have in your toolbox, man, to be able to go to a utility guy, man, like that, and not know that, because I really did think that, because I know later on we're gonna get into it when we get into the latter part of the season. We saw him play it again, go to the corner against Southern in the SWAC Championship, and he was, you know, he was holding his own, you know what I'm saying, for the gentleman that he was going up against. I think it was number 4, if I'm not mistaken.
We only pull them out doing passing teams.
Okay.
They run first. We kept them at nickel.
Robert might have something different to say, because it looked like on the passing teams, that was when he got his interceptions, man.
Yeah.
Hey, he got his stats.
What is Rob? What is Rob on the next level? Is he a corner? Is he a safety? Is he a nickel? What is he?
A DB. Man, I'm telling you, I've made some calls about this young man. My 15th season now, I didn't have maybe better talent, but when I say the overall package. The football IQ, the work ethic, the weight room numbers, the length, the speed, I mean, you name it, the coverage skills, he can really do it all. That's what makes him unique. You like I just talked about, when you facing a running team, you put him around the box because of physicality. You go back and watch that ULM game, when he got in the second half, you do.
Yep.
You knew.
Yeah, you knew.
It was very, very physical. And so, like you said, when we pulled him out during the Pine Bluff game on the go, and the way he performed, then you came back to Southern, because now you like, Southern got to be one to throw the football around, because that's what they had success with the first time. So I put him at corner then, and then the championship game, the Celebration Bowl. So he'll DB. I can't wait to watch it. I hope, you know, my message to him was, you got to burn the clock up now.
Yeah.
If he clocked a 4.4, there's no doubt. When you go back and look at the film, with that length, speed, with the value he had to play all three positions, it's different.
Yeah. I hope he get the numbers that he need. That'll be great for him, man. Love the kid, man. And now we transition, coach. We handle business with UAPB, and now we got the Delta Devils from the Valley of Mississippi coming down to us, and let's talk about preparation for this game. Now you got a quarterback that's dual threat kid. You do a little bit of, he's kind of their whole offense. They got a solid wide receiver that's torching, the conference in the slot in Rembert. Let's talk about game prep for a Valley. Corey and I went back and forth a little bit about this because you actually defined what a trap game was when you talked about Bethune-Cookman. That was an obvious trap game, emotional win. Lackadaisical the next game. Now we got Valley again. I was like, man, it's not a trap game. But by definition, he was right. This is another trap game because you can pretty much say, hey, historically, Valley, we've only lost to them 6 times in our history, and we pretty much win this game. Let's talk about game preparation for Mississippi Valley coming to the vet.
Oh, man, the course of a week, man, I thought this may be the second best OC in the league. But I knew he didn't have the talent.
Okay.
So everything they did was trying to get the ball to the low wide out in space.
6.
So
remember.
We underestimate him now. We're looking at the numbers, but we saying, hey, we ain't got to do nothing, different to kind of stop this kid. We kind of put the plan together during the week, had a great week of preparation.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy, no crazy thought, no crazy checks. Let's just go out here and play football. We should have better talent. We should execute. And then I can tell you, man, in the right for halftime, I'm like, we got to stop this little joker. And so thank God for the Pine Bluff game plan. Because at halftime, we're going back to that game plan. We just now going to do it on him. And so that was the adjustment at halftime in the Valley was, hey, man, we got to stop this little guy in space. They didn't throw the ball down the field, but they did a great job of getting him the ball in space. And man, we couldn't contain him. We couldn't get him on the turf. He made something out of nothing. And second half, I like, hey, we're gonna treat him just like the wide out from Pine Bluff. So, fellas, here's the calls. Just know when I call this, we're doing it to him. And so that's how we finished the second half. We had to give him a little bit more respect, and I thought he earned it. But coming into the game, we didn't really respect him. I knew from a DC standpoint, I had an ounce in my back pocket, but we never talked about it. And so when it happened, I was like, hey, we got to stop this guy because he's the one keeping them in the game. There's nobody else at this point. And so we kind of brought it out, and the kids, man, shout out to them second and third level guys, them linebackers and DBs. Man, we turn stuff on and off, and checks, we turn them on and off, and they was always in tune into it, especially late in the season. Hey, they come out in this, I want to check to this. Like, it may happen on the go, but we spent our whole season like that, man. And I thought the back end was we was always in the right call. I look at Reed or Ashton or E says, now, hey, or Cam Smith, I want to be in this if they do this. Hey, if you see this again, let's check to this. And man, they see it, they own it. They get all 11 on the same page, man. But that was one hell of a week, man. I thought they did a great job from an offensive standpoint, putting themselves in position to even be in that game at halftime.
Right.
And then, coach, from there, the one that pretty much for the East, the one we had all been waiting on, kind of circling on the calendar. One reason why some of those previous games could have been a trap game because we may have been looking ahead to Alabama State. The one team that some people say had just as good of a defense as us, or some say even better. I was on record saying that this team can't beat us because they won't be able to generate enough offense consistently, unless we turn the ball over and give them a short field, but consistently to march down the field and score on our defense, especially with a 4th-string quarterback or 5th-string quarterback or whatever the case may be. And it was a low-scoring game. It was a defensive battle, but of course we came out on top. So talk a little bit about the Alabama State game.
Man, I looked at the defensive staff. We can't mess this up. This is going to be on us. Because we followed them. I told you every Sunday I go back and I look at the stacks all the way to the defensive unit. You are what these stacks say you are. We good at stopping the run. The numbers will show. We not. It'll still tell us. And so I always watch Alabama State. Every category, we was right there 1 and 2. Going into that game, we had the #1 rushing defense going into the game. They was in front of us about 3 or 4 yards in total defense. So we was always neck to neck. And we kind of lost that battle in this game. We gave up 180 rushing yards. And we gave up 4 passing yards, kind of balanced it out. But it spiked our numbers. And from then on, we could never catch back up, with them. But we knew coming in they was going to have a great defense. I wasn't sure how many the offense can give us. I looked at the defense staff like, hey, we got to be ready to roll. We got to make adjustment on the go. So going into it, we wanted to stop the run, and we wanted to show this quarterback different pictures. Due to he was not the starting quarterback or a quarterback coming into the season, we wanted to give him different disguises on the back end and passing situation. And, man, that's where the interception come from. It looked like man, but it was really cover 2. And so it was a cover 2 with a man disguise built on it.
Yeah.
And you can see K1, Wiggins come off and make the pick. But the quarterback thought it was man coverage. He thought it was man coverage. And so we kind of accomplished what we wanted to accomplish as far as that standpoint, showing him different pitching and passing situation. But we had to stop the run, man. We got off to a rocket start. They got into some unbalanced stuff and trying to create some extra gaps. I thought also they respected us. They played with 6 O-linemen the whole game. So I was telling Coach James, that's mad respect to the front now. They said, before we put another tight end on the field, we ready to put a whole nother O-lineman to try to run this football. And they did that. And it took us a minute to get adapted to it, Something we'd never seen before. I'd never seen before, just playing a whole game with 6 O-linemen. And so we had to look at some things at halftime that was a little different. And we was able to, man, get a stop. I can tell you this. That last defensive drive was very electric.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, my God. I can just see the linebackers in the front almost foaming at the mouth. We got your defense. We got your O. We got your O. We got your O. And I'm just like, whoa, it's on us. It's on us. They hitting each other helmet. They headbutting. I'm like, oh, yeah, some big for to happen. They were too excited about ending it on the defensive side. And I was on the headset. I said, fellas, for the ones that's in the box, that was electric. And here we go, the next play. Ashton Taylor with the sack. Kind of sealed it.
It was also the Robert McDaniel game. I think that game right there, man, was just – I know we just spoke about him. Obviously Ashton goes in there and just a heck of a play, man. But Robert was everywhere. He won player of the game, very emotional. I think that was kind of his kind of coming out party for the season, man. And that's when we knew he was a lot different. I kind of look at him similar, Coach, and maybe you get your thoughts on this. Kind of similar to Marquise Bell, FAMU, that hybrid linebacker position as well. Because I know that some of in the NFL, you're seeing a lot of that, a lot of safety, a lot of tweener type guys getting on the field with that speed, the ability to cover and all that whatnot. So he kind of shows some real good versatility coming off the edge with sacks. The closeout speed. This was a great game for him, man. And it was a heck of a defensive battle. If you love defense, that was the game you wanted to watch, man, because it was definitely a defensive battle on both sides.
Without a doubt, man. I can remember the post. Because everybody, let me say this. Nobody gave us respect defensively all year. And it's hard when your offense coordinator is your head man and he's scoring 35. So everybody talking about how good offense. And I can remember tweeting at this game, I said, what you just witnessed was the number 4 and number 5 defense in FCS football. Okay. So we was right behind each other going to that game. They was number 4, we were number 5. And FCS, not just the SWAC.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
FCS,
right.
And it was impressive. It went down exactly how I thought it would be. 2 great defense going back and forth. I don't think neither offense had over 200 yards total.
Yeah, that was a good little bit. And now at this point, we pretty much clinched the East. Now we know we're for sure going to host the SWAC Championship. But we got one more game left, Coach. We got to go down there to your old stomping ground, man. To we call it Tizzle. We call it the school in Lorman, Alcorn State University. We're heading over to Jack Speak Stadium. And now we just got to go play ball, man. We got to go play ball. And let's talk about preparation for this one. This one is, look, we're not sitting. Coach made it clear in the press conference. Look, we're going to win this game. We're not going to prepare for the SWAC Championship. We're not going to take our foot off the gas. But let's talk about preparation for a game like this when you're getting your guys ready, knowing that you got a SWAC Championship in 2 weeks after this last game. But it's the final game for them of the season, and you want to go get that one. How do you feel to be back at Alcorn, having been the defense coordinator?
It felt good. It felt good. Man, it wasn't hard to get the guys up for this one. You look, Alcorn beat us last year,
right,
at our place. So we used that to fire the kids up. They don't respect you. Then we end up pulling a press conference up in the defensive unit of the head man just talking about he wanted to keep that streak going and continue to beat Jackson. He wanted to make it 2-0, and that kind of got the kids fired up some more. I was like, oh yeah, it's on the popping now. It's on the popping. But it felt good getting back to the yard, man. Didn't talk to a lot of homies that week. I was over there with them guys. The defense coordinator was my roommate, the head man. I played for him. Coach Gales, Coach AR, they wired out. Offense coordinator was at Pine Bluff together. Coach Frederick was there. Man, the whole staff pretty much. Coach Booz. So, man, it was fun. You didn't want to put too much thought into it because it was really the same offense, same defense playbook. We still call everything the same thing, So, talk to the defense coordinator after the game. He congrats and all that. But like, man, did y'all looking at my signals? Because I wasn't playing that game. Because we still do the same signals. And so I found myself in the game when they started to move the ball, like, hey, you need to get this call. You need to sit in this call in real late. Because they know these calls. And so it was just that part of it where you had to be careful, you know what I mean? Having the same playbook, having a lot of guys on both ends that are very familiar with each other.
Yeah.
And, we was able to go out there, man, and dominate. Once again, 2 quarterbacks we played. We was able to get out there, man. I think 48-10. 48-10, 113 passing yards, and like 170 on the ground. They kind of found success. They had like a 70-yard run on us. And outside of that, man, it was a dominant performance defensive.
Well, yeah.
Yep. All right, and then from there, the SWAC Championship game, a rematch against Southern, and 2 of the most reposted quotes of the season from that press conference leading to that game. You were asked, what's different about this team this time around, and you said, same team. And then you were asked, what concerns you about this team, and you said, nothing.
All right, first, let me address Tiger Nation. I am very humble. But all my screws may not be there if I'm upset. And so, man, I can remember, because I was on my phone with my wife, man. When I get heated, I call my wife and try to let her talk me off the edge. And so, TC could have been messing with me. I don't know. But he got me fired up. He come in there and he say, hey, man, they asked to bring their fireworks to pop on our field to celebrate after the game. I said, huh? He said, yeah, you heard me. I right then and there, I got hot. Like, who they think they scoring on? Like, they really think they got a shot? And so I'm getting hot. Then Coach O, he throw a little gasoline on the fire. He put in the group message the interview after the classic they played Gremlin. And the head man was like, we're not the same team since the last time we played Jackson. We're a different team now. And so now I'm hot all over again. And 15 minutes later, they said, hey, you got to go ahead and do the interview. So I was hot when I walked in there. And look at the first question they asked. Now y'all faced them before, but they're a different team. What she say that for? Oh, my God. Oh, man. I was burning up in the inside. And so that was what was going on inside, man. It came off as cocky, but I was hot. I was hot. And so I didn't want to be in that space at the moment. I was that hot, but I had no, how I'm here so I don't get fined.
Yeah, yeah.
That was me. That was me. So,
I ain't gonna lie. I liked it, man. I liked the mindset of it because it wasn't a whole lot. Then we back it up, and then somebody said this. Somebody was like, "Well, I'm just trolling because it's Southern, obviously." But it was like, man, actually, the first team was better because they had more success in the first game than they did the second game. But that's neither here nor there. We dominate them in the SWAC championship game, man, and we close them out 41-13. I know we go into the game and they start off, they start off kind of feeling like the game was, they had an opportunity, man. And then I never wavered, but like I said, I'm not in the rooms. I'm not a part of the preparation. I just felt like this is what was going to happen. And then eventually second half rolls around, we give up 3 points, and then we proceed to dominate.
I think the big thing, you come out the first half, man, there's going to be some things that they worked on that they think may be your weakness that they may have not shown. And so I was laughing on the headset because I'm like, I've been watching this same offense since 2019. They never put nothing new in. And I was like, after the first quarter, I was telling them on the headset, I said, hey, I think he heard that press conference. He had to put something in. So they went to the quads. They had like 3 or 4 plays they put in off the empty quads picture. And so my biggest thing when it comes to that is something new. Let's get the kids in something they're comfortable with. Let's play base defense. And we collecting data. So when they get into the empty, hey, did y'all get that? Hey, that was motion from the left side to the right side, number 2 motion. They ran so-and-so. I just want that slow depth so I can gain all the data I need to make the necessary adjustments. And so 1 or 2 drives kind of went like that to like, let's see what all they done cooked up in this formation. That is new. So I'm like, maybe you heard the press conference, but they did come out with something new. And we got all the information, and by the time they show their hands, hey, read that back to them. Hey, coach, they did this, and now we come up with 2 or 3 calls that kind of stop all of it, and we make the adjustments. And so that was the biggest thing, man. They had a couple of successful drives. One of them was just tempo was killing us. We couldn't get lined up. I think I went 6 DBs on the field, and they stayed in 11 personnel, and they got a first down. They started to go fast. I don't want to be a dime on normal down. I just only want to be there passing down. So now they're going fast. Now we got to burn a timeout. And so now I'm like, all right, now we need some calls in base defense that we can get out of a jam on third down. And so, man, it'd be a whole lot of adjustment being made between series, halftime. You'll pay attention to me. The first thing I do is go grab the iPad.
Yeah.
We just talking data. And then I go grab, we have a data sheet. We have a guy that's collecting data, first down, second down, motion, the whole shebang. I look at that and I'm like, all right, I see a trend right here. Let's get in this, let's get in that. So, man, they made it a game for a half. But once they shoot all your bullets, it's fixed. It's old. And you got to go do something else. You got to come into the game plan with 2 different game plans, a first half and a second half to have a shot. Because being a former offensive coordinator, I see it a little different. I got all your rules because I had to install them same plays. I know where your read's going to be because I coach the quarterback position. So, once you show your hand in your game plan, it's plugged up. You got to find something else.
Makes sense. All right, so now we win the SWAC Championship. It's the 19th SWAC Championship in Jackson State history. We host the trophy in Jackson, and we finally get that Celebration Bowl invitation again, Coach. And this is the 3rd invitation in the last 4 seasons. Obviously, the first time for Coach T.C. Taylor as a head coach. Let's talk about from the time we won the SWAC Championship to the mindset, because now we don't have a lot of turnaround. Historically, we normally have an extra week, but now here we are. We're getting ready to go to Atlanta, and I'm curious to hear you guys' mindset because I was there on Wednesday when the team made it, and it seems like it was nonstop, just events. But let's talk about, how do you start to assess and prep? Was there some preparation prior to? you were preparing for Southern and kind of peeping at South Carolina State. Like we want to know how you get into the mindset of preparing for a big national championship game in less than a week, because we were the only FBS school of this bowl cycle that had less than 1 week to prepare for their bowl game. So let's talk about the preparation for this game.
And not to mention Madison recruiting as well leading into that. I just want to
throw that in.
That's right. A lot.
Man,
signing day.
It was tough. It was tough, man, because I like to have their playbook, as I call it. And we took a couple of days. We had a bye week in there before we played Southern. And we know Southern not going to change much. Like I told them, it's going to be 1-2 wrinkles that we're going to have to adjust to, that they're going to kind of put in. But you're going to get what you get out of Southern. And so we went back and evaluated what we did early, what we had for success, and what hurt us. It was the passing game. So I'm like, all right, Rob McDaniel playing corner. That helps. We're going to make sure in 10 personnel we play more pass first. And so that helped. So that was like the game plan. And so it wasn't too much that went into Southern. Midweek, it was South Carolina State. But you couldn't introduce it to the kids because you didn't want to bypass Southern.
Right.
So as coaches, we was in there overtime. Wednesday, I'm keeping it in there late. Practice over with. I'm like, hey, fellas, South Carolina, first down, second down. What we got to do to win this football game? And we talking about those things, and it kind of went back to the same thing. We stole that time during the week, but they told me, said, Coach, everybody highlighting the quarterback, but you got to stop the run. He said, looking at the data, the team that stopped the run is the team that won the football game. He said the quarterback get majority of his success off the run game because it's RPO. He said, so we got to be able to stop that, and we got to stop zero because he's just like the Valley kid and the Pine Bluff kid. So there's another one of them games, coming into it like, hey, Rob, got to go to the corner. That stopped majority of your bleeding right there. Rob may tell you at the corner. Because it allows you to play some one-on-one situation in the boundary, to do some other stuff to the field or blitz one number. It allows you to do a little bit of everything. So we stole a couple of days that week going into it. I don't know how we did it, man. We had to be on the plane Wednesday. And I think going into it, you played Saturday. Sunday was off. We gave them Sunday off. Monday, we came back. We practiced like an hour. And then Tuesday was a real practice, and we was on the plane.
Yeah.
And so the good thing is no new calls coming. I just had to make sure I continue to watch it for myself to be able to make adjustments to be able to put these guys in the right position. So it scared me a little bit early. I'm like, Coach, we had success in all these games, but we practiced a whole week. Said, Coach, there's too much other stuff going on. If you've been around me long enough, I get real irritated if I can't prepare. I don't want to be at no Coca-Cola. I don't want to be a part of none of that. I'm ready to practice. Right. So I told them we'll celebrate and have fun after the dub, after we holding that trophy. But until then, I was in a bad space. So I just felt like I couldn't prepare the same way. And this probably the best offense we're going to face. But, man, shout out to the kids. Once I tell them, hey, this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it, they embrace it. And that's what happened when you're playing, week 14, game 13, something like that. The kids have done it over and over. So we wanted to take Zero out the picture because he's the most explosive guy. We did that. Another team we thought couldn't run the ball on us. And rest of history. We took the top receiver out the game and we stopped the run. And man, I want that explosive back. I really want that 60-yard pass back, man. Because I thought we was on the greatness, man. We was on the greatness. I'm looking at it and go back to the Pine Bluff game. We kept them to 178 total yards.
Wow.
Somebody that's scoring 35. We kept them to 7. Somebody that averaged 400 yards a game, we kept them to 178. And 60 of it on me. I got bored. I got bored. I got bored. I want that one call back. That's 60 yards. That could have been 100 yard total. That could have been something very, very special. On third down, man, we get a stop. And at this point, we up big. I just called one of my favorite calls that was so far down the call sheet. It had no business coming out. But it's one of my favorite calls. It's the call that I made to get the sack on FAMU. So I'm like, hey, I can't go a whole game without calling my favorite call, even though it may not be the best call. And I called it, and it hurt us. And I was just like, that's
hey, man.
Coach,
I'll say this, though. I think we all got a chance to see, back to Robert McDaniel, closeout speed. I mean, because that dude caught that ball, Corey, come across the middle, and he was gone. Here come three coming from the other side of the field, man, chasing him down. I mean, we wound up stopping him from scoring. We didn't obviously we gave it the touchdown because we did want the shutout. But I still gotta say this though, man. It was utter domination. I mean, the quarterback was a little befuddled. He's kind of throwing a lot at him. We just looked like the team that was more prepared, more physical, stronger, faster, and just a lot of it didn't look like you didn't have that much time to prepare. It looked like you guys was extremely prepared. When you do decide on a game plan, it's an unconventional week, Coach. So how are you communicating with the team? Is that where the meetings come in play? I know we got a chance to go to you had some walkthroughs, but let's talk about making up for lost time in an unconventional week and how you're able to really get the guys bought into the game plan for this particular game.
It's not hard when the guy trusts you.
Okay.
I think that's where it started with. When I tell he says this, it's no doubt. Because he see the work. He see the work. If he saw me leaving that office 3 or 4 o'clock, he probably have a different approach. But he see me, I get up the next morning, like, hey, man, I get out to 1 o'clock this morning. In the office, coach? Yeah, 5-1 yesterday. Like, they be like, holy crap. Like, it's unbelievable. So they see the work. So when I tell them something, they know it's facts. When I walk in there smiling the next morning, like, I got them, fellas. They know. They get their pen, their paper. Coach would tell us everything about this offense, rules, backfield sets. And so it wasn't hard to get them to buy into the game plan, man. We had a couple meetings that were about 30, 40 minutes, and I got straight to it. Very efficient with the timing. We just talked about how we want to attack them, how we plan on winning this game. Here's the call that's going to allow us to do that. Everybody good on this. Hey, when I call this, I want 0 double team. Hey, and so it wasn't no new calls. It was stuff that we already had done before. But now I'm just giving them the thought behind the calls. Hey, when you hear this is what we're thinking. We want to stop the run. Have you ever heard me call this? Because I had a bunch of checks that game as well in a small amount of time based on formation. They were simple as well, and they just hit it behind motions. And so we had a bunch of checks in, but, like, it don't happen without he says. Once I tell he says something, you can't sneak to it. You can try the motion to it, he going to catch it. He going to get you in the right call. And I think the prime example of they was going empty, but they was always starting 0 in the backfield. And so it got to the point when they saw it, they already started putting us in an empty check before they got even motion. Like, that's the type of group I had on the back end, man, with Reed Pullum and Ashton Taylor and Isaias and Cam Smith. Then the 4 guys I lean on as far as the communication, but it wasn't hard to get them to believe into the game plan when they already trust you.
So, Coach, national champions, how did it feel when that final horn sounded? When did it kick in? When did it sink in? And what did your wife have to say about your coaching ability then?
Oh, man, I had to turn her down. Oh, my God. She was up now.
Hey, yeah. What they gonna say now?
I hope you don't find some of the videos. She probably hyper than I was like, you know what I mean? She was excited because she see the work. She see the sacrifice. She see the work. She called and was like, man, I ain't heard from you all day. I had to FaceTime like, I'm still in the office. Like, damn, it's 11, 12 o'clock at night. You been there since 6 a.m.? Like, man, I don't see it. And she know if I don't see it, I ain't leaving the office. She know what that means. Like, I don't see it. I mean, I can't recite the whole playbook. Like, my memory of football, man, I come in there on Monday morning, like, all right, fellas, hey, 2 by 2. Hey, we getting smashed. We getting this. All the throws to the boundary. Hey, tight end hand dirt. We getting pin and pull. We're going to be in this call. Hey, they going to motion to it. And they be like, so if I can't get up the next morning and tell you their whole playbook, I don't see it. And so I stayed out all night. I had to. I sleep. And so she see the sacrifice. So she was so excited, man. I I think I was just getting up off my knees, man. It hit me right out. When that horn hit 0, I was like, wow. I hit my knee for about 2 minutes. And I was just crying because I was like, I'm thankful to be a first-year DC when people count you out, when people feel like you didn't deserve the job, when people feel like the defense is going to be the reason that you didn't win the championship. And then you just overcome all of it. And then not only you overcome it, you overcome all the other things around it. You know, not only you being the first year DC, but you got a bunch of young coaches that I'm talking about going to be great. I told them they're going to have to hire me one day because they ain't going to be in this space long.
Yeah.
Them guys are changed.
Man. Yeah.
They are changed, man. And I'm thankful to have them type of guys to go through it with, you know, despite their age. Because I told them, man, y'all started early. When they get 30, 35, Jesus.
Yeah.
Hire me. They're gonna be somewhere else. Like they very unique, man. Coach James, Coach Orr, Coach Uvancy, Coach Mario Magana, and Coach Alex, Tenor Alex, and Aaron Jackson, man. Great staff. They was always there to support me. So I hit my knees, man. I cried about 2 minutes trying to soak it all in. And it was a surreal moment. And all of a sudden my wife come out of nowhere. I just hear her she jumping in my lap, all type of stuff. And she making it rain on me. She making sure I get my flowers, you know.
Yeah.
They don't see the work. They don't do this.
Oh yeah, I heard it all. What they gonna say now?
Yeah, it was a surreal moment, man. So
man, I love it, man.
Like
Coach,
you said,
go ahead.
You only stay in it for about 30 hours. Because first day Monday night, it's the transfer portal. It's the next big recruit. You got to feel a roster all over again. You got to go win it again. And it starts in that building as far as the recruits and loving on your guys that just won a championship with you. It's tough because once you win the championship, everybody's value just went up.
Yep.
If I got 9, 10 sacks, I feel like I'm the dude. I just won a championship and I feel like a dude. Now I feel like my value up. I can go get paid. So you got to weather all the storm of that. You got to love them in. Hey, be careful when you're making these type of decisions. Say too many of them leave our space FCS to go FBS and make an impact. You know, a lot of them be depth guys anyway, and they don't understand that. Because if I'm an FBS coach, I can't explain to my boss, well, I'm finna go get an FCS guy and pay him $80,000 when I can go get one of the Alabama bag-ups that's in the portal that have done it and played Power 5 football. But our kids don't understand it at the time. So you just got to educate them on all that. You know what I mean? Make a decision. Hey, here go this guy. Remember, he was a dude. You didn't hear from him no more. You just got to give them the Carfax, man. They still going to make their decision. And you got to let them make them decisions, you know. That's just part of it. They got to learn from it. And you can't be on the other side of it because Alabama called today. Everybody going to be calling 1400. Alabama called Coach Quinn. So you got to let the kids experience them options as well, though. But it's tough, man. It's tough trying to keep them, you know, especially when everybody's kind of misguiding them into other places. And I tell them all the time, man, you're going to make them decision. You need to have a plan. You really need to already have somewhere to go. You don't jump in there hoping and wishing somebody will call you.
Yeah, there you go. Coach, let me ask you this real quick, man. First season, in your own thoughts, words. I know you shared a lot. We really appreciate it. I know listeners and supporters and fans of Tiger Talk TV is just going to really appreciate your perspective on a lot of this. Let me get you your grade. I know we tend to be our own worst critic, but just kind of how would you evaluate yourself in year one? Like, what would your grade be for your performance? I know we won the Celebration Bowl, and that's the ultimate goal at our level. But how do you grade your first year?
Man, I would have to say a B-, C+.
Wow.
Because it was growing pain.
Okay.
I just shared with you a lot of thought process of out-coaching yourself in Alabama A&M to blitzing almost every other play, chasing TFL and sacks and leaving the DBs on their own. That showed up like Bethune-Cookman where everything kind of shifted, blitzing started to dial down. To not matching personnel in sudden and still in a run first mindset, stopping the run first, and they throwing the ball around the yard because they down 20. So it's a lot of growing pain that I don't think will show up in year 2. So I'm excited about year 2. Man, I'm excited because, knock on wood, not to toot my own horn, but every opportunity I've been blessed with, I took advantage of it. And I never really came back to the same place in the same with the same title to be able to upgrade it. So I'm excited about this one. And I'm looking around. I ain't applying for nothing. I love where I'm at. I love the space where I'm at. And I just want to see what I can do in year 2, building on top of year 1. When you won the natty, when people think that the expectation can't continue to rise, I'm excited to show them different, man. I'm excited about the Southern Miss. I'm trying to figure out what else on the schedule. That's the goal now. It ain't we're gonna win the natty. Let's go see can we destroy FBS opponent in a fashion way.
Coach, you gotta, man. It sounds like he in our chat, huh, Corey?
I'm telling you.
We've been following Southern Miss quite a bit, man, because they got a new coach, man, Coach Huff, really good coach coming over from Marshall. Just kind of hit the ground running in the state, man, recruiting his butt off. Even grabbed a couple of the players that we thought we were going to actually get to commit to us. But one of the things I do want to kind of talk to you about, Coach, real quick is you see the momentum that is happening in Hattiesburg. They got a collective down there. And, of course, we started out, a collective for JSU Athletics. I want to talk to you about NIL, just your thoughts on that and just your mindset on how NIL has changed the game and what we could, at Jackson State, what you feel we could do as a community if the fans and supporters and everyone really bought into the idea of group economics, which is really a collective. And we know the AD just announced the $2 price increase to tickets across the board to support the band as well as NIL. But I wanted to get your thoughts on that real quick before we get ready to let you up out of here.
Man, first of all, shout out to you all. Y'all got y'all handful. Let me say that. But, man, today's football is different. You're really buying the championship. Yeah. Really what you that's the world you're in right now. Coaching will play a part of it, but you look at this year, we just had better dudes.
Yeah.
We coach our tail off now. We got some great coaches in there, but we had some guys. And like you said, to be able to try to keep a Travis Terrell that has success, a Jonas that has success, a quarterback that has success. God forbid that Earl Mulligan had another year. You're trying to stop him. You're trying to stop Jeremiah Williams and Josh Nobles and Phillip Webb. And, man, it's just like, there ain't enough money for all y'all, man. And then in the mix of it, you got a bunch of young coaches that won the national. They ready to go knock on some doors. So, man, it's tough. It's tough. And that's the world we in now, man. When they value go up, everybody feel like the financial piece should go up. And so trying to keep these players, man, that just won the natty, that has success, man, it's going to take money. It's going to take money. The good thing is Jackson State is known for their fan base. So if it can be done, it got to get done here with that fan base, like you said, regardless of if it's $2, $10, $20, $15, when you got 30,000 watching you every game, the small things add up. That's what it's going to come down to. It's going to come down to money, man. At the end of the day, we can talk, we can love on them, we can do all that. But when you got Memphis or somebody hitting Travis Terrell up and say, hey, man, we got 90, we got 110. As a 19, 20-year-old kid, like his eyes light up. Yeah. This more money than my mama did. My mama got, my daddy got. Let me go see can I make this and change my family back at home. And so that's what it come down to. It's going to come down to a bidding war.
Wow. Well said, Coach.
Ken, let them know, man.
Yeah, I know Coach, we got a big fundraiser coming up. Appreciate this, Corey. Coming up January 11th in Vicksburg. We're going to start in Vicksburg. We got 3 big fundraising events for NIL coming up for the entire year. I know we'll have one late spring, early summer, then we'll have one in the fall. This has been a grassroots effort. It's a passion of mine. I'm a JUCO guy. I gave up my playing days because I was broke, man, as a college kid. So when NIL became a thing, it became a passion, a drive. And then what better way to connect your fandom and your passion, which is Jackson State, with what it is we were able to do. We started doing some things on the channel, the KC 1400 channel, and then it just kind of morphed into this thing now. But we do have a legitimate collective, and I'm going to just tell you, I did my research, and the flagship when it comes to collective is the Grove Collective, man. That's Ole Miss. Man, it's hard to beat Ole Miss, bro. It's hard to beat them at what they're doing because now I do know that the revenue sharing is coming, but people that think that collectives are going to go away just because of revenue sharing, that's sadly mistaken, because what'll happen is that everybody's not going to have the same athletic budget, coach, and they can only share up to about 20% of their budget, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what happens for the schools? You just said bidding war. There's still going to be some supplemental opportunities for these folks to still be able to come in and provide that, unless laws change. But for us, we asking everybody, man, go to KC1400collective.com, sign up. We got sign-ups as small as $21 a month, which is digital supporters. And coach, they don't even have to be a JSU alum to be a digital supporter. You can just be a lover of what we're doing and just get active with us. And we go all the way up to $5K a year and higher. But it just comes down to us having a desire and a drive to be able to provide and support our student athletes and support you guys, because we want to keep our Tigers in the building, man. We look, I went to every game. I haven't missed a game under Coach T.C. Taylor head coaching, right? Not one. No matter where we've gone, I've been there. And Coach, this year was the big payoff. And I'm gonna just be honest with you, man. I do it all over again because it felt good to win. And in order to win, the cost of winning is it costs money to win. It does.
Mm-hmm.
And you said it well. You said it really good. You know, everybody's value goes up when you win. So we're summoning and we're charging Tiger Nation, you know, to go to KC1400collective.com, man. Sign up. January 11th, Vicksburg, Mississippi on Eventbrite. We got our first annual, inaugural, in partnership with the Vicksburg Alumni Chapter, in partnership with Brother Kevin Dent, who's a former Jackson State football legend and a Black College Football Hall of Famer. We started in Vicksburg, Coach, because of our partnership with them, and but we're gonna always start the year off in Vicksburg, but we'll do 2 in Jackson and 1 over there, maybe 1 over in Hazelhurst. We Corey's hometown. We'll see how that goes. But I just wanted to close this show out. Tell you thank you for coming on, and just everybody that's watching this show. If you haven't visited the site, KC1400collective.com. And the website will pretty much show you what to do. You can do monthly, you can do annually. We need all hands on deck because our counterparts, Coach Huff over at USM, Coach, he's only been there for a few days, man, and he hit the ground running. Right. Man, these folks are dropping money.
Checkbooks. They're opening up the checkbook for them.
Big money donors over in Hattiesburg, because they know, honestly, Coach, we were the top. We were in the big 3. It was Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and JSU. USM was an afterthought. I'm not talking about FBS, but from a football standpoint, now we got more competition now because they brought him in to revive it, and I'm seeing the momentum that they have. I love it, but I'm challenging Jackson State. Let's not talk about it. Let's not be worried about it. Let's be about it, and let's get active, man. That's what we're asking. So you'll see all the athletes that we signed in 2025, and hey, man, it's onward and upward, you know, for our quote unquote project 2025 for you know, that's our project, which is to grow from 21 athletes, Coach, to 50 athletes, all sports.
Yeah. That's big enough. Once again, man, thank you all. Thank you all.
All right,
man.
Coach. Any final thoughts before we let you go? Final remarks?
Go Tigers.
That's it. That's it.
All right, Coach. We'll see you, man. Keep doing what you're doing, brother.
All right. God bless.
Tiger Talk TV is presented by Bet Online.